Oh, what a lovely morning it is. Bill here, and it's really cold out. I'm wearing pants actually. I normally wear like a warmer shirt, but this is going to make a mess, so I need my arms open here. We're going to make a nice hot kitchen because I'm making a nice hot spicy jambalaya. And we can always argue all day long about Creole versus Cajun. Mine's kind of a hybrid, you know, they say it's whether you got tomatoes there or not. Well, we'll see about that. So I got my pot here, it's getting pretty toasty. I'm going to go outside my comfort zone because I'm not going to use olive oil. I want to keep this real traditional, so I need about 3 to 4 tablespoons of any vegetable oil. This happens to be canola because I like using canola. I'll make sure we get enough in here so nothing sticks. And while that's looking happy in here, so basically I got myself a dish of flour, probably more than I need. It's just easier to show. I'd rather throw some away than to have to need more here. I just ground a little fresh black pepper in it, and this is a pound of chicken breast, which is 2 chicken breasts. Happened to be, came out to like 15.5 ounces. I'll call that good enough. And I just want to get them coated in here. Just going to do a couple of times, make sure to keep the heat. Don't want the pan to get hot, plus I don't want to lose them in here. Some swirl in there. And we're just going to fork in that. More here. The reason I'm flouring this is because I need something to make my thickener. And you know, true fashion, you put that, they use a filet gumbo, which is a thickener, but I just think this is probably easier to demonstrate. Sizzling good now. These little pieces aren't going to take long to cook at all. I just love nice spicy food when it's cold out. Nice layer on the bottom here. Like I said, I'm adding it slow enough that we're not dropping the heat. Yeah, believe it or not, it's actually 71 degrees in here right now. And for Florida, that's pretty darn cold. And the fake fireplace going this morning when I was drinking my coffee. This works out perfect. This is just nicely covering the bottom of the pan. runaways. Okay, I'm going to make some room for the next step. Rinse my hands off. All right. Clean as we go. We work in a restaurant, you know that expression. All right. So some of these first pieces are definitely done. I just want to give everything a chance. I want to get a little bit of color on it. I keep saying I'm going to invent smell-o-vision because you need to know what this stuff smells like. Patience is a virtue, you know. I used to be one of those people that, man, always had to be stirring the pot, and actually that's really bad because I want everything to get a little color on it. I want this to cook. I'm going to try and get in here. I've got some of these guys. I'll start flipping them around. Don't have to be exact. Oh yeah, it's looking good. Got them flipped over pretty much. Another minute. So, next thing I do, now this is looking all nice, is I wanted about a pound of andouille sausage. Well, I like fresh sausage, from the meat market, and I wasn't planning ahead real well. So this is chorizo. So it's a little spicy. It's going to get kind of the same effect, but once again, I got a pound here that I sliced into little rings. And basically, I just want to get that heated through. It's already been cooked. I did cook it in the oven. Now you flip it every 10 minutes or so, just to make sure it all gets cooked. I'll get some of this. This is where the fun begins. Now we're going to really start to smell some flavor. I want to liven up. And there's almost like a spicy seasoning smell to it, almost a little vinegary, so like a little hot sauce or something. And like I said, this is already cooked. I just want to get it heated through because now, here's the fun part. I got a really, really big yellow onion that I chopped up. I got 2 large red peppers. You can use green. I'm really not a big fan. I like the red. You can use purple or yellow. Get that in there. And I got myself like 4 good-sized jalapenos that I sliced up. Because this is going to cook for a while, I'm not really concerned about the heat from the seeds and the veins. So I just slice little rings. give it a toss around, get some of that stuff in the bottom. Oh yeah. I'm not trying to, you don't really have to cook the onions to death. We're going to kind of stew in here. So this is more a process of getting everything heated through. Of course, it's me. So guess what? I got like 6 cloves of garlic in here. Let's just get that going. You know me, I don't like it in there too long. So I like to burn my garlic. I like it nice and fresh. Alright, now we gotta make this real. I got 4 cups of stock, chicken stock. This is unsalted. Really cool people like cut the box open and dump it in. Not that cool, plus I don't want to ruin my knives, so guess what? It is easier if you pour it upside down to start with so that air can get in there, so the liquid. And as it starts to wind down, rotate it over. This is good to the last drop. Good to the last drop. Now everything's going to cook down a little bit, so I'm not going to lose as much liquid. I'm just trying to get this going again, just heat it through. Looks good, nice color to it. Alright, so while this is heating up, we're just going to go through this a little bit. So I got my favorite little spice group. I got 2 tablespoons of Creole seasoning, stuff you just buy at the store. I got a teaspoon each of thyme and oregano. I have half a teaspoon of crushed red peppers in here, and they're pretty well going to dissolve, and about 1/4 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I want to get this dumped in here. And there's a bay leaf. I just forgot that. If I hadn't seen it, I would have forgotten. Bay leaves are a real big deal. I don't tend to use fresh ones because I don't use them very often, but that being said, always smell them before you throw them in there. They need to be still pungent. They don't smell like a whole lot. I'm not going to flavor it a whole lot. So I got myself some tomato paste. That's where I said mine's a little hybrid because it's whether you put tomatoes in or not, but I just like the colorful little tomato paste, so I'm going to go ahead. I want about 2 tablespoons. It's probably a little more than that, but that's okay. I need a couple teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. That just darkens it a little bit. I want a tablespoon of hot sauce. Once again, it's just really put the vinegar kind of flavor in there. So let's heat this through. And the last thing we're going to do would be jambalaya without rice, right? So, I got myself a cup and a half of long grain rice. I got a full pot of goodness in here. So I get this dumped in here. So basically now we're just going to simmer it for half an hour. If you run out of liquid, you can always add water. So you're going to want to cover it, let it cook, and so far so good. It smells and looks good. Everyone's probably thinking I'm real crazy when I made this. But this is, like I said, this is my way. I also want to make sure I did it in one pot, because I hate dirtying up the whole kitchen just to make something like this. All right. So I'm waiting for it. You start to see those little bubbles come up. I didn't cool it down a whole lot. So, I know I've got the heat up too high, but I'm covering it because I don't want to lose all that. I want to get that rice steaming. And we just need to check it. Every 10 minutes, take the lid, give it a couple stirs, and make sure it's not really boiling. We just want to simmer it. It's going to be a half hour, okay? So, I got my timer set. We're rolling half hour. We're going to see you back here in about 25 minutes. So we're going to put this back together. All right, been 30 minutes. This is my favorite part. This looks really good to me. Take the lid off here. Just got it on low simmer. I got myself a pound of really nice shrimp. Just gonna plop in there, almost dropped the bowl. This is the easy part. So, what we have here is a real jambalaya because it's thick. This isn't a soup. And part is cooking the rice in here that gives it all that thickness and that little bit of flour from the chicken. And let's get these all mixed in here. So if you notice it's getting too thick and it's starting to stick, obviously, like I said, you can just pour some water. I like sometimes just to pour a little beer in there for liquid because I think the hops adds a little depth to it. But, all right. So basically, just let this sit here. Put the lid back on it. Stay nice and toasty. So like I said, you can control the thickness, you control how you want it. If it's too thick, you take the lid off while it's cooking. That'll help evaporate out some of it. But if you did everything right, it should be really nice and thick. You don't want to give it too long. So the idea is that when you have good fresh seafood, shellfish, or any kind of seafood, we're not trying to overcook it. Obviously, we don't want any raw shrimp, but we don't want to cook it to the point where it's starting to fall apart. And that's why you need to use some pretty decent shrimp, because when shrimp gets old, it gets kind of mealy and it just breaks apart, and that's not very good for your jambalaya or anything else. Shrimp are turning nice and pink. They're adding some nice flavor to it. Curling up nice. Just enjoying. So I think what I'm going to do pretty soon here, I think probably about another minute, is just to remind you that you want to keep, make sure you got a big enough pot because it grows pretty quick. I like to keep things bite-sized. I kept the onion a little finer, and obviously want to mince the garlic, but you want to see those peppers. I like to slice the jalapenos so they don't just disintegrate in there. Use your chicken stock. I don't like adding a whole lot of salt. There's probably some hidden salt in most of those Creole seasonings, so I don't use anything that has salt in it. I prefer to use the extra long grain or long grain rice. And that bay leaf, it's amazing. Every time I open this up to stir it around, because every 10 minutes I stirred it, you really get the smell of that bay leaf. So let's see where we're at. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. So turn off the heat, and go to a nice restaurant. Hopefully they're going to give us a nice big bowl. But I want to show you, just as an example of how thick this really is. I can serve it on a plate. That's what I want to see. I got chicken, I got sausage, I got shrimp, got more shrimp because I love shrimp. That's how it should look. It's not a soup. It's not even a stew. It's kind of a whole different thing into itself. And we cooked everything perfectly, and that is absolutely the way you want it to be. I wish you could smell it, but you can see the jalapenos and the red peppers and the onion. I can smell the garlic. And at this point, I'm probably going to look through and get my bay leaf to get it out of there before I put it in the fridge for leftovers. This is a nice rib sticking meal, something you want to serve. Make sure you serve other stuff with it because it's fill you up real quick. But this smells absolutely great. I really want you to try it, enjoy it. It wasn't that difficult. And this is the kind of stuff that tastes really good. I hope you learn things from me, take advantage of my experience, and have fun in the kitchen. See you next time.